Along with color palettes and color assignments, typography is probably going to be one of the most used aspects of GenCSS for you in most of your projects. Obviously, typography and getting that correct is absolutely crucial. There are a ton of options within GenCSS, but it's important to remember that you needn't get overwhelmed by them. You are simply stating the base values from which GenCSS will produce all of your fluid typography for both view width units and for container query units. So not many CSS frameworks have really taken care of container queries and fluidity within those, but GenCSS actually produces those scales also, and you can initiate that in your project with the addition of a class to the container element. This will then make the typography fluid with relation to container query units and width, which is obviously really important. So yeah, it's important not to be too overwhelmed by all of the options. The first thing is probably a shock to many coming from WordPress land to realize that this is how you would declare your different fonts. GenCSS comes with a default in place, and you can simply duplicate that for any other fonts that you're introducing into your project. Fonts should be locally hosted. So if we take a look in Feud Studio, we can see in our fonts and assets folder we have Montserrat right behind my head right here. So this will be the file extension, so fonts and Montserrat, and assuming that that is in place, you can then reference that in your CSS, and that gives it all of the information it needs. Then you would simply assign it to body or display as is needed. After that, we look at type scale. So there are helpful ratios already in place, so you can just have a play with those. Most of the time, this will do the job for you, but you do have further control if you want to alter some of these for your branding to ensure that you're in line with that. And you can do that for desktop and for mobile. So if we shrink this down, we might decide that on mobile we want to go golden ratio, although that would be a terrible idea like that. And maybe on desktop we're going to go desktop we're going to then apply the golden ratio. This is on cards to get fixed up, so that's a bit more of an improved responsive window there. Okay, cool. So you will see immediately that you have a bunch of generated scales here, and you can alter these if you wish, but GenCSS has done the work for you, so I would say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can also see everything changes on the move in the actual code file, but still, once you're finished, hit push to file and make sure that everything's committed. Push to file is really a precaution. Everything really should be, as you're changing it, moving to the file anyway, but there are some changes that just need that further nudge, such as adding a utility or something like that. So it's always best practice to make changes and then commit it, but generally it's doing that on the fly anyway. Okay, so then we have some more sort of granular controls. We can pop into the headings panel here, and notice that we do have variables created for us as well. So we have font heading, we have color heading, we have weight heading, and so all of those that are typical to headings. Let's say you're styling up a text element later on and you need it to look like a heading, you would be able to simply use those these variables and tokens. This is also true of the more granular H1 to H6. You see that we've got all the values there which are quite typical, but you can obviously change these if you wish. But then you can refer to those. So perhaps you have a text and you would like to put an H2 style on it. We do have --H2 anyway would be the size of the headings, but you have these additionals in place as well. Obviously, you can change all of this up. So if you want to just change an H2 heading to all uppercase, this will be the place to do that. and obviously that's altered on the file as well. So cool, push the file, keep it all in, and then of course we have the body text as well. Very same sort of situation. You can go very granular in what you're changing up here if you wish, but again, everything is figured for you and calculated for you. Most of the time you would really just want to leave it as is. There are spaces obviously to add both primitive variables and then token design tokens related to them, and it's important that they are put in the correct place for purpose of specificity. But yeah, as you can see, it's a very comprehensive typography section in GenCSS. But again, just remember, it's about setting those foundationals, and GenCSS really generally does the work for you on top of that. So there's no real complication there once you get over those basics. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.